The other relationship that is in this text is their relationship with people inside the church, and that was characterized by generosity. You saw this in that no one said that the things that were their own were their own. So they basically said, mi casa, su casa, my stuff is your stuff. They didn't speak Spanish. It was Greek, so I don't know how to say that in Greek. I probably should, but I don't. So they said something like that, and they shared everything. The rich people, the super rich people, took some of their extra assets, like houses and land, and they sold that stuff. They liquidated, gave the cash to the apostles, and the apostles leveraged it to meet the needs of other people. It's incredible. Now, am I saying we need to do that today? No. I mean, if you want to, it'd be great, But I'm not saying it has to be to that degree, but that is essentially what church is. When you give to this church, what happens with the money? The money goes into a bank account, and that bank account helps to fund a general budget. That general budget gets passed every single year, and that budget is full of opportunities for us as a church to meet the physical and spiritual needs of people inside the church and to meet the physical and spiritual needs of people outside the church. It goes to take care of the people of God, and it goes to advance the purposes and the mission of God. That's what happens when you give to this church. And some of you, we have a thing in our church called the Church Family Crisis Fund, and that is exactly what they're doing in this text. They gave money to a particular fund, and that fund went to meet a particular need, namely people in the church who were experiencing a crisis and who needed help. So people give to that fund in our church, guess what? The money's locked, doesn't go anywhere else except to meet the needs of people in our church who are experiencing a crisis. Not a lot of things have changed since the first century. Why? Because one of the marks of the Christian relationship is that we love one another and we take care of one another's needs. Now, we don't need to be Christian communists. And some people think the reason they were the way they were was because they believed Jesus was coming back tomorrow. And I don't know that that was the case. I think the reason that they were so generous is because the gospel had gripped their heart so tightly. And when the gospel truly grips your heart, the grip on your stuff gets a little looser. You begin to think of your stuff as, I'm not an owner of my stuff, I'm a steward of my stuff. My stuff is not my own, my stuff is God's stuff. He's entrusted it to me for a reason. How can I use my stuff for His purposes to take care of His people and advance His kingdom in the world? That's how you think about your stuff. And the deeper you go into the gospel, the more generous you become.